Hey everyone, I'm Jordy, and I just spent the weekend on the PTR in the upcoming raid Trial of the Grand Crusader, and I thought it would be a good time to take a few minutes and go over some thoughts on how the raid felt, and what you can expect in the next phase of Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Okay, so TOGC has 5 encounters, mostly taking place in this arena here, with a surprise final boss deep underground. First up, the Beasts of Northrend. 3 separate encounters in one, each one after another, until you finally down the massive Yeti Ice Howl. First out the gate is Gormok the Impaler, the biggest Magnetar you've ever seen, and his little Snowbolt friends. Gormok isn't too bad, just make sure that you tank swap and kill the Snowbolts before you're overrun as they come out. Next, the Yormungers, Acid Maw, and Dreadscale. This is actually one of the more difficult moments in this raid unless done correctly. Each Jormunger applies a poison or fire debuff that in conjunction counteracts the other. So some precision movement and planning is important in order to get out of this phase unscathed. After some time, this won't be hard, but learning might take a second. Finally, Ice Howl. This is a fun, cheesy fight where he'll knock everyone against a wall, rear up a charge, and race towards you, which will then flatten you unless you've moved out of the way. If done correctly, he'll hit the wall harmlessly and be stunned, taking increased damage. Alright, that's Northrend Beasts. Next up, Jaraxxus, everyone's favorite Eredar Lord of the Burning Legion. This is probably the easiest fight in TOGC. Just deal with his various debuffs, kill the ads, don't drop fire in the raid. There's not a lot to say here. This fight is kind of a loot pinata and you'll be quickly bored of it. I kind of hope that this gets some tuning. I just felt like it was super easy and not very engaging as it stands. Okay, so not much to say there. Next up, the Faction Champions. On 25-man, you'll be up against 10 NPCs of the opposing faction. Various healers and DPS specs that you might see represented in an arena match. Some of these are more dangerous than others, and I think you'll see a lot of evolution in strategy here over time in the kill order and placement or CC of these. For us, we started with the healers and CC'd other things, but I think we're very quickly going to move to just AoEing as much as we can and popping cooldowns until things begin to die. That's all to say, this is a super fun, chaotic fight, lots of individual responsibility, everyone has a job to do, and if they fail in it, the train can very quickly derail, which is awesome. I love this fight, and I'm looking forward to doing it every week. Alright, Faction Champs down. Now we're up against the Twin Valkyr, Fiola Lightbane and Adis Darkbane, each representing the light or darkness that have similar abilities but use different schools of magic. Complicating this are these small vortexes that give the user a color, either light or darkness, that increases damage to the opposite color Valkyr but increases your damage taken from them as well. So this fight is intended to be a little dance of sorts, swapping between colors as they do their abilities in order to maximize your effectiveness while keeping your raid safe from the opposite color's damage. There were some cheesy strategies for this one employed this weekend, some more than others that I hope Blizzard considers fixing, so we'll see. But either way, this is a cool fight that has some exciting optimization that we'll be doing down the line. Okay, once these two go down, we meet the big guy for a moment before being plunged into the deep dark below and coming face to face with the king of the Nerubians, Anub'arak. Now, Anub'arak is definitely the hardest encounter in TOGC, mostly because the final phase is a no-holds-barred race against the clock as your raid ticks down super fast from a debuff called Leeching Swarm, while you also contend with Nerubian Burrower ads and a nasty Frost Dot that can one-shot you in this last phase. This is a great fight, super thematic, and a fitting end to the raid. Now, TOGC is only 5 bosses. With no wipes, you'll be in and out of this place in less than half an hour. For some, that's great, plenty of time for other activities. For others, this is kind of a bummer, and you'll find that this phase is more of a waiting room for Icecrown Citadel, the final full raid of Wrath of the Lich King. Either way, you'll be quickly bored of this place. It's 2 rooms, no trash, and not much to do or see otherwise in this phase. I was hoping Blizzard would release Ruby Sanctum with Phase 3 and drop the eye level of the gear to match this phase, but it's looking like they won't do that. This phase is going to be pretty thin in terms of content, so let's hope it's a short one as we're all very much looking forward to finally getting into Icecrown Citadel and facing Arthas. Okay, well, that's it for me. I'm already working on boss guides for TOGC, so if you're interested in seeing those, be sure to subscribe and maybe toss this video a like. It helps me a bunch, and I'm super grateful. And remember, wiping in TOGC will remove some loot from that bonus chest at the end, so study up and be prepared. I'm also working with Pummel to create the Phase 3 Loot Prio Guide. This will help you place the gear you get in TOGC in the hands of those that will make the best use out of them, which will be super important because this phase might actually be pretty short, so you need to maximize what you get so your chances against Ice Crown are all the better. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.
Just slap the shit out of the boss. Ignore the ads.
Alright.
Oh shit, what come? Yeah.
Messy,
Got it.
but we did it. Alright.
Nice job.
Oh, Legion's
Insane healing pentax at the end.